back, y'all. Hopefully we have the issues figured out. And we're going to hop right into the first map, which is going to be Lijiang Tower. Aqua, you want to get back into what we were talking about earlier, potentially?
We have 07 Soul, we have Reckless Gamble, we're the Ascendant tier. We're probably going to see a bunch of Force. Malga's kind of dead mostly, but not really. There was something stuck in Fletch's throat. I think we have the bases covered.
Yeah, there's yeah, I'm gonna make the joke again because I thought it was good. There was a horse got your tongue.
You have a little bit of a horse throat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
so
we got a
more than
likely.
Basic rundown of what we're doing. Our first map going to be Lijiang Tower. We kind of expect it to be the Arisha Brawl. That's been pretty meta here over the past couple of weeks since the Malga nerf. I don't really expect to see anything super different. If we did, I think it would be a Ramatra or a Malga. But I do think overall Orisa is probably just going to be where we are going to end up.
Right. And yeah.
Ready for battle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Who could have guessed?
Who could have seen this one coming? Solid. Whoever placed $20 against this happening,
Capture the objective.
All by a spear from this. Dang it! Lean so heavily the way of Reckless Gamma. They're going to take the flip here.
Yeah. Unfortunate for 07 Soul Team Meat.
This ends now. This ends now. Headshot. They're empowered and ready to fight. Don't let them take the point.
So that is going to be the boon for Reckless Gamma as they cross the 50% mark.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They lose Zerx?
What?
What? This fight, they don't want to give it up. Pestiance is alone with Venti here as the reinforcements return for 07 Soul. Driven is able to put a kunai through the skull of Pestiance. Sound barrier comes out from Venti. It hits 3 and Briven is dead. Orca has to use the recall to stay alive here. And this fight that never ends refuses to end. The Terra Surge is here for Zerx. Reckless Gamma does get the touch here. And they push 07 Soul back for the time being. The Terra Surge from Zerx found nothing, but Reckless Gamma are ready to get right back in with this Kitsune Rush pull from Orca. Found nothing. This Terra Surge could be big. Gonna find it. Nothing, a lot of damage on Akela, but nothing in the way of kills. Frustrating Pie's able to clean up Zerx. But this fight is so scrappy that neither of these teams can get a clear advantage here. Venti goes down and at 99%. The overtime wick begins to burn for 07 Soul. Can they take down 4? And they can. And with it just being Kailaroni left on the point, this fight will go over to 07 Soul. There'll be a touch, but it won't mean anything.
There goes Venti. Yeah, that was a very scrappy fight right at the end. A lot of stuff happened that was very hard to keep track of, which is, I guess, what this meta is just going to be, unfortunately. Orisa meta, yay! I think generally the coordination from both teams could see some improvement. A lot of the times it was just getting out mechanicked or throwing an ult in there when you really needed it, but overall, I think right now teams need to be worrying about going into the next fight, being coordinated with each other more to gain that extra advantage over the other.
3, 2, 1.
All right, here we go. Nothing gonna change between this round and the last, as you can imagine. The Symmetra, just to get out of spawn pretty quickly, but both of these teams meeting each other at about the same time, but Zerx has already taken so much damage. The healing is coming through, but only very slowly. Zerx cannot get above half HP until now. Floor is very low, but Zerx even lower. Zerx and Floor follow as Pestiance tries to keep Orca in check, but nothing going there for the Tracer as Orca gets a good pick there as Pestiance collapses, but this flip will go to 07 Soul.
I did like what Reckless Gamma was trying to do with a pinch maneuver with Pestiance and Venti going behind point. However, it was just unfortunate that their front line fell apart right at the end. A very good job by 07 Soul, though, creating a very strong first point presence initially. It does look like Gamma is going to be looking to rotate backside of point here as well.
Alright, here we go. It will be 07 Soul. Control this point, but Orca pinned to a wall by Zerx. Not quite able to get the job done, but 2 are down for Reckless Gamma despite 07 losing their Sojourn. Dingus is so dead there. They just can't keep up with the healing. Pestiance has to get out with the recalls after taking a kunai to the head, and it's just Pestiance with 5 HP.
Yeah, Orca was putting in the work that fight. It does look like we're gonna have a probably an ultimate dump fight here, as both teams have Pulse, Rush, and Beat. Depending on how each team wants to use it, though, the Cleanse is gonna have to be forced out. That's gonna be the crucial cooldown going into this next fight for these ultimates to be popped.
Here we go, Kitsune Rush out from Bribin first, but Venti receives a gift from Orca, and with that, they don't even need these ultimates, but just to put the fight away, 07 Soul will use a few more.
07 Soul has really cleaned up here. They are going to have, they did use 2 ultimates there, but they have, actually they used 3, but they will have 2 going into this next fight, while Reckless will have 4. Reckless needs to make sure that is right here.
All right, Kitsune Rush out, and Apollo dead already to the Spear of Dingus Grease. Terra Surge is out from Zerx. Gonna be able to find a couple there for Zerx, as this fight will go over to Reckless Gamma, but it was not cheap. It's just Dingus here, you know, trying to waste the time, but it will go to Reckless Gamma here.
Reckless Gamma did use 3 ultimates there. Also, 07 Soul does have nothing though now on the field. It will be 07 Soul will have to look to win somewhere in the dry fight here, with probably a pinch maneuver by Orca and Crumb if I had to guess. It does look like Pestilence is already trying to mark one of the angles already.
All right, here we go. Orca already behind, and Pestilence with a beautiful blink melee puts Orca down. Floor uses the overclock early to take down Fresh Baked Pie, as Zerx going to take good care of Dingus there, as they're just sitting here building up ultimates.
They are, but 07 Soul is also trying to slowly build up ultimates of their own. We are likely to see here that probably the same thing, a Pestilence and Orca going at it, maybe it going one way or the other, but overall, very good job by Pestilence to shut down the Orca initially in the initial phases of that fight.
Alright, Reckless Gamma are being pushed back as 07 Soul takes their spot on the point. Pulse Bomb out, gonna not find a target, but Pestilence will once again backhand Orca and put the Tracer duel in their favor. The Kitsune Rush from Bribin not going to find much here as the roads cross, as Kayla throws out their Terra Surge from both Orissas, but it will be Zerx that finds the pick onto Crumb. The healing is trying to come through, and somehow they're able to keep Dingus alive! Dingus for 3! Dingus kills 3 people while being at 15 HP!
Trust your support, fellas. Oh my goodness, what? Catch does come by Pestilence, but Crumb's gonna immediately shut that down. It does look like map 1 will be going away of 07 Soul with the craziest comeback on the second map of just nearly dying and just saying, nah, I win. Okay, you go 07, you go.
I mean, they got to 99% early for 07 Soul. And then, you know, they didn't have any ultimates after that, and they just played it perfectly, right? Obviously,
they did.
the healing, and then the Orisa staying alive for a year and a half was clutch. But when you're at 99%, you don't really have to. You have a lot of time to work with to build up ultimates, and you can go through it like 2 cycles, 2 fights, and build up the ultimates for the 3rd one. And that right there, we saw it. Everything in the sync came out of that last fight, and 07 Soul just got the better end of it, and somehow kept their Orisa alive in the face of 3 people, which still is mind-blowing. I'm not really sure how that happened, because it's not like in short bursts that Kiriko can do a lot of like raw healing output.
Right. Like, yeah, like as you're saying, Kiriko has a very strong burst, but it has a significant cooldown between bursts compared to Ana or Baptiste. I did notice though, there is a small little tech that you can do where if you can animation cancel while reloading to heal a little bit faster. I think that's what really pushed them over the edge, which is that small micro there really helped them win the fight for that once, to really get the map going for them. So a good micro on 07 Soul's part there, I would say.
You know, one other thing that I noticed is that in that last fight, Reckless Gamma didn't have their Lucio.
They didn't.
Somehow
I didn't catch that, but yeah, you're right.
Venti somehow ended up off the map. I'm not really sure what happened, if, you know, they were coaxed off the map or they just jumped in the pool, wanted to go swim with the koi down there. But I mean, I'm almost certain that they had sound barrier at the time that could have kept that fight going.
Even if they didn't have sound barrier, just having that fifth person alive can help swing a fight in ways that just taking a 4v5 can't. Like, it might have just been a messed up rollout, which I can't judge. I cannot play Lucio for the life of me. So.
Yeah, I mean, mistakes happen, and it's just unfortunate that that mistake might have cost them the map. We obviously don't know what would have happened if MT was still alive. So, you know, it is what it is, right? You just have to go next, take a breath, pick your next map, of which we do have the selections. We got Eichenwald, Kings Row, or Paraíso here. I'm thinking Kings Row is probably the best pick here for the current meta.
I mean, yes, but we could... given this is Overwatch players, they're going to pick Kings Row, but imagine if they decide to actually pick Paraíso and beat Chads. I mean, Paraíso does have a lot... is very much more favored for dive. Unless you're talking about third point, but third point is weird and I don't like it. So I ignore it, because I can do that. But yeah, it's... for the most part, it's a lot more dive-centric. So if a team would want to do that, they could. It's Kings Row.
Yeah, it's Kings Row. There's no point. It's always Kings Row. It's always Legion Kings Row.
It's always Kings Row.
If there's a choice, it's always Legion Kings Row.
It's always Kings Row and Circuit Royale. You gotta take those out of the map pool if you want anything interesting.
I think a lot of people don't like Circuit unless they like are really good at Sigma.
Most of the time when it comes to Escort, I've seen mostly just Circuit. It's people hate on it all the time, but people play it all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's not in the map pool here in stage one. Not. So, as for Kings Row, it's just Rush, capital of the world. Rush. I mean, we're just gonna see Orisa, Sojourn, Tracer, Lucio, Fury. I mean, that's just how it is right now. That's just the best composition right now.
Unfortunately, yeah, it is the best composition. No Reinhardt. The Rhine's capital of the world has no Reinhardt to be seen. It's so sad. I think so far we've both teams have been pretty close together, so I could see this going the way of Reckless Gamma if they play their cards right. But imagine if they decide to actually pick Paraíso and beat Chads. I mean, yeah. Oh, I can hear myself. Oh no.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
It'll be fine.
You can go next.
3, 2,
yeah.
1.
Yeah.
Attackers incoming.
I just hope that they can't hear us, if I'm being honest. But here we go, Kings Row. Reckless Gamma on the attack first with this total mirror composition. They're gonna go hit the rotate around the high ground here, but Orca and Tom are chilling. It's gonna be a pincer maneuver from 07 Soul, but Angus Grease is so position. And I mean, Reckless Gamma just take full advantage of the recklessness, I guess, for lack of a better word, of 07 Soul, and they're just gonna push them back.
The concept there for 07 Soul to try and do a pincer maneuver was there, and I do appreciate it. However, going in as aggressive as Dingus Grease did was really what allowed Reckless to punish them.
Orca, so is Fresh Baked Pod. I don't think Orca has a recall. Just see to the left there, have to blink out. Fresh Baked Pie able to get that passive healing and the mini health pack, but Pestience opens this map up with another pick onto Dingus Grease. The only 2 deaths of the map so far belong to the tank of 07 Soul, unfortunately. Pestiance very low, 7 HP. Once again, the support's coming in clutch. This time Kaylaroni rather than Driven, but it will be Reckless Gamma getting a second pick and getting aggressive there with the Kitsune Rush. The roads will cross once again, though, as Driven throws out theirs. Vinti and Crumb use both sound barriers here to try and keep this fight going, but the numbers are so heavily in the way of Reckless Gamma right now that I can't imagine that 07 Soul have a great chance, and especially with these 2 picks from Zerx and Floor. I mean, that wasn't meant for Davey. That wasn't meant for Orca. But yeah, Reckless Gamma just...
We'll say it was.
Bullied.
We'll say that was meant for Orca. Yeah, definitely. Very good job by 07 Soul to install as much time as possible in a losing fight there. Ults were used, which is unfortunate, but was necessary if they want to burn as much time as possible. It does look like Reckless is going to be pushing up here. Hopefully we can see some stronger target prioritization from both from Reckless here if they want to make sure that they don't have to deal with these long, scrappy fights.
Here we go. Reckless Gamma decided to press the S button for the time being, play safe around this choke in the face of Fresh Baked Pie's Overclock. That is a very, very good plan. Overclock, very scary ultimate, but it fades away here. And now Reckless Gamma have one of their own. It'll be the Overclock from Floor, and the damage is there to take down Dingus once again. And I mean, with Driven going down, they're going to take out these late staggers, and 07 Soul just cannot find their footing right now.
Yeah, good job on Reckless there to actually control the tempo very well. They kited when they needed to and went right back in as soon as clock was over, and then immediately burned down Dingus Grease. So good job on them there. We are going to see Rush and Pulse coming up from them as well. 07 Soul should be looking to use their Terra Surge here to maybe get a kill or just create a large deception for Gamma.
Here we go, Kitsune Rush out early from Kaylaroni to try and push Reckless Gamma back. They don't have that sound barrier on the side of 07 Soul. Terra Surge out from Dingus Grease, but so low. Pops the Fortify here to both of them as the Terra Surge pulls a couple in, gets a little bit of damage, but with Orca going down, this is going to be so hard. There's no backline pressure for 07 Soul, and I mean, Reckless Gamma are being pushed back a little bit here, and as the sound barrier comes out from Crumb, they have the durability here late to try and clean this up, and Fresh Baked Pie from the high ground able to rain a bullet down on the floor 13. They're going to stabilize.
They are able to stabilize it out, and a lot of ults were used there. 07 Soul's going to be the only team that can have ultimates with Pulse and soon a Overclock here. Reckless is going to need to look to win in neutral here somehow, and they probably will be looking to pressure the backline further with Pestiance. Oh, nice pull. Oh!
Orca, my god, the disrespectful pulse bomb on the Pestiance. He can't get away from this as Orca continues to try to rain hell in the backline. The Mega is there now. Almost did not get it before the Lucio found it out. But for right now, Reckless Gamma are left reeling as this fight continues. The Kitsune Rush from Kaylaroni soon to be met by the Kitsune Rush from Driven. But Fresh Baked Pie is dead, as is Crumb. I mean, it started out great with that pulse bomb, but Reckless Gamma threw only 2 ultimates at this fight, and they were able to take it over.
Yeah, I think the long fights are just because this is a weird poke brawl hybrid call. Like, we're seeing, like, just long, drawn-out fights because of the fact that Urza just can decide to just not die, and you can't really do anything about that. A lot of ultimates are probably going to be used in this fight, so it's going to be a bit of a test, more than likely. But we're going to see if we can start with Driven Rush here.
Alright, Kitsune rush out from British, pushing Reckless Gamma back all the time. But they didn't even need to test the sound barrier here. They are able to take down Orca as both Terra Surges come out. Can they stay alive or dead, though? This is going to be rough, especially in the face of the overclock and nobody to take out this Sojourn at range. Become Pestience, a headshot onto the Kiriko. Okay, Reckless Gamma are warded off for the time being. But they're going to get right back into this. Floor is able to... Yeah, Floor is able to hold Orca there with the railgun as Zerx gets aggressive. Pesty has to use the recall early here. And now, oh no, this is a really bad spot for the Orisa to be in. But somehow Dingus is alive! Can they keep Dingus alive? They can keep Dingus alive! It's a rush from Gamma. Roni is going to come out and try to push 07 Soul back one more time, but with the pick on the Fresh Baked Pie, this fight is going to be rough, but Zerx goes down! They're without their tank, and now, I mean, they just have to get out or die here.
How does Dingus keep getting away with this? This is unreasonable. What? What? Okay,
Shrugging guy in blue shirt. I don't know.
Pulling himself by his bootstraps. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Alright,
here are pulling the rush here. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Brevin throws out the Kitsune rush early, taken very low, had to use the cleanse early. So, you know, they're waiting for that as the aggression comes through and jumping on Floor's head. Not quite able to take out the Sojourn, but pushing the Sojourn away as they use the overclock here. Can they take down anything? Terra Surge is out! Oh. Terra Surge is down! Dingus able to hold it, get all of that damage out onto the Orisa, but with 5 seconds remaining, it is a 2 versus 5 for Reckless Gamma, and they will not get the job done even with Venti's sound barrier. The overclock comes out from Fresh Baked Pie to put the period on this round, and it will be a stop at the end of point 2 for Reckless Gamma despite the staggers.
I mean, I think the main thing that we've seen throughout this this first round is whichever team can look to bully one singular member on the enemy team is going to be likely the one that wins. Reckless Gamma did a couple of good times. They were able to just completely bully Dingus Priest or Briven, or even Orca at times, and they would just win off of that. Or 07 still would bully Zerx or somebody, or Floor 13. It comes down to bullying the other team out, or just poking them out to the point where they either have to leave or die.
Yeah. See, the thing about this meta, right, is that if you can't kill the Orisa, you won't win.
Right.
Because with the DPS passive, it makes tanks significantly more squishy, right? It makes them generally easier to kill, and that is why Orisa is so good. That is why Maga is seen as good. It's why Ramatra is seen as a good tank. It's just tanks that can mitigate damage. And Orisa is simply the best at mitigating damage with Fortify, with Spear Spin. Terra Surge gives a little more overhealth. It's just something that Orisa does better than every other tank, and that is surviving. If you can survive on tank, you will win.
Yeah, really all you need to do on Orisa is just cycle your cooldowns correctly, and you will not die. It's the most riveting hero in all of Overwatch, fellas. The don't die character. It looks like 07 Soul is going to be just looking to go going for the same rotation Reckless Gamma went for initially on their first attack here.
Alright, here we go. 07 Soul. The aggression is a little more tempered from Reckless Gamma. They don't want to get punished like Dingus did early. Fresh Baked Pie has to play a little bit safe as this fight begins on the low ground officially. They're able to take out Ribbon early, so this is going to be a rough fight without that Kiriko here as the damage comes through to take down Zeki. Where are these kills coming from?
What?
Orca for 2? Pesty is able to take down Crumb here. What else can they do? They can't get rid of Pestilence, and Orca alone on this point will get a tick, maybe?
Oh, they're definitely gonna get a tick here. It doesn't look like Reckless is gonna be willing to give ticks, but they're gonna go straight back into this fight with Zerk's nearly dying here. Maybe Soul gets another tick here as well?
Yeah, I mean, the point presence is there. Zerk gets a Pulse Bomb eat there from Pestilence as the pick doesn't quite come through, but that one does. The pick does. Floor 13 in the Sojourn duel. Can they keep Zerks alive? Can they keep Zerks alive? They can! They can't! It's a trade of here. I mean, the spawns are so much closer for 07 Soul right now, but they're warded off for the time being.
Honestly, great target preservation by Reckless Gamma on their defense here. They were able to remove Dingus Grease from the map when they needed to, and they're going to be looking to have this ultimate advantage here with 4 ultimates in their bank. It does look like Riven on Cell will be looking to be initiating the fight with Rush here, though, trying to get that initiative.
Here we go. The Kitsune rushes. The sound barrier came out from Crumb, soon to come from Venti. Does so, but it's too late.
Oh, that's
unfortunate. They cannot get the sound barrier in time. Floor gonna try to put this fight on their back. They find Fresh Baked Pie. Can they find anything else? They're trying to keep this railgun charged up, but they're pushed back by 07 Soul. Scenes throughout the Pulse Bomb, not gonna find a target. The touch has to come through from Pestilence, but immediately put away. Where did that Pulse Bomb go? It got stuck on someone. I'm really not sure as Zerks gets another eat there. Venti is so damn low. Can they take care of the Lucio? They can't do it, but they take down Zerks here, and the capture will come through from 07 Soul.
Yeah, going back to that pulse for a minute, I'm pretty sure it had already been casted. It was already stuck on like a wall or something. I don't know how.
I think it got stuck and then it got cleansed, because it falls off when you get cleansed.
Oh, that might have been it. That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. 07 Soul's going to be looking to have a very massive ultimate advantage going into a second point here. I forgot what the actual name of it's called, but they're probably going to be using these to keep up the tempo as things are going on. Reckless Gamma will have to either just let the 07 burn their ultimates and fight a little bit, or they're going to have to figure a way to shut them down.
Here, Kitsune rush out from Priven early. Cleanse has to be used by Kaylaroni. It will be a trade of supports here, though. That's not a good trade, though, for Reckless Gamma. The time is not in their favor. The numbers are not in their favor in every facet of the fight, and Reckless Gamma cannot get anything done here with, I mean, they've got a couple ultimates, though.
07 Soul only used one ultimate there in going to that fight, and it looks like Reckless is going to have more ultimates for this next fight also. We'll just have to see how each team looks to temple it. Will Reckless be looking to touch? Oh, good cleanse by Kaylaroni.
All right, here we go. The engagement with the Kitsune rush. Sound barrier from both sides of Fresh Baked Pie. Uses the overclock to try and find something here. Zerk to use the Fortify earlier than they would have liked, but Kaylaroni is able to open this fight up. Orca is dead. Can Zerk stay alive, though? That's the big thing, and it looks like the answer will be yes, and they get the job done here.
Zerk's nearly dying right at the end, but it does look like Reckless is going to be able to clean up the fight, and they will have an ultimate advantage as well, so they just need to hold for another minute and 30 seconds, which is very doable, all things considered. If they just tempo everything correctly and prioritize their targets right, everything should go the way of Reckless Gamma, if nothing extraordinarily bad happens.
All right, here we go. One more time to try and capture this point. 1 minute on the clock, and Fresh Baked Pie is the first to go down. That's not what you want to see for 07 Soul. Terra Surge not going to find a target, but Floor really could do some damage with this overclock, and I mean, that's damage if I ever saw it. Crumb dead to the overclock. Orca goes down to Floor as well, and right now with 40 seconds left. 07 Soul are on the ropes.
They will have 4 ultimates, but they'll likely have to use everything just to go into third point here. Reckless Gamma will be matching them with 3 of their own, but it does look again, Bruin's gonna be looking to take the initiative here.
Alright, Tsune Rush is out, sound barrier's out, Orca has a pulse bomb, Pestilence trying to keep that from happening. Can they do that? They can't! Orca gets the kill, gets the stick, a lot of damage, the stuck onto Zerx. The damage is just too much. 07 Soul, 4 ultimates out from both sides, and they are the ones that come out on top.
Everything went into the kitchen sink for that fight. I think what it really came down to was Orca was able to win the Tracer 1v1 with Pestilence. Had that gone the way of Pestilence' favor, I think Reckless Gamma would have been the favorites to win that fight. And we're going to be going to third point, a minute 15 on the clock. It's going to be everything's in the hands of 07 Soul on if they're going to be able to push forward with a soon-to-be overclock.
Alright, they have some time to build up these ultimates, so we'll see what they elect to do as they engage here. Orca being pressured out by Pestilence, as this is going to be a pick on Kayla.
No.
That is the worst case scenario for Reckless Gamma, as Fresh Baked Pie has the overclock, will pop the overclock, pulled in, does not have a slide, and put down turn to a fine pace by Zerx's Terra Surge here. Zerx cannot stay alive though. It doesn't matter because Dingus is also dead. So 07 Soul, they get the early pick, but they cannot finish the job, and they only need 4 meters.
4 meters, 20 seconds. This is where everything's going to stand if we're going to be going straight to match point. The Reckless Gamma with Beat and Pulse and soon to be Rush and Overclock, while 07 Soul has a Rush, Pulse, and soon to be Beat and Terra Surge.
Alright, here we go. Kitsune Rush out early from Brivin. Kaleroni does not have theirs just yet, but Orca opens it up. Pestilence gone here. Sound barriers out from both sides as Floor pops the overclock. Can they take care of anything here? Not gonna do that, hiding behind a box. Floor, that won't help you win the game. Pushed back as the Terrasur, or the Kitsune Rush comes out from Kaleroni, but it fades away. The Terrasur from Dingus is going to find Fenty. Can they get it done? The spear finds Orca, but it's 2 for 2. Both Kirikos are dead and buried here. It's 3 for 3, 2 versus 2, and they don't touch, and 07 Soul takes King's Row.
Oh no! Honestly, that could have gone Reckless Gamma's way. Honestly, I think that was probably the closest fight both teams have had so far throughout the series. But that was just unfortunate. I would not consider that a C9. It was just nobody was able to get there in time to touch.
I mean, when you're I think a DPS and a support versus a tank and a support, it's never really that easy.
I mean, no, it's not easy, but it's doable.
Yeah, it's definitely doable, especially with that DPS passive. But I mean, with the amount of health that Dingus still had at that point, I mean, that's just, you know, we talk about Orissa's survivability. Her damage output isn't shabby either. So going into map number 3, I mean, Reckless Gamma, I think, came into this expecting a game that was, you know, gonna easily go their way, and they've just been punched in the mouth. I mean, down 2-0 at match point.
I mean, they are down 2-0, but they showed a lot more life on King's Row compared to what I think how they were performing on Lijiang. Very strong push throughout their attack, and had a few fights gone a little bit differently, they could have absolutely won that map, which is unfortunate. But I think the Reckless Gamma is not out of down for the count just yet.
Oh no, I think they're a great team, but I think going into this halftime break, they need to regroup, take a breath. I know they weren't expecting to be down 2-0 this early, but you know, sometimes it happens. So you got to take a breath and adapt. So when we come back from this short break, we'll see if Reckless Gamma can stay alive. So stick around. All right, welcome back, everybody. Right now, O7 Soul, I've seen a lot of Reckless Gamma fans in the chat. They're reeling right now, and I imagine that the team is feeling the same way. But down 2-0, you can't afford to make any more mistakes, or you're moving to even on the season.
That is true. Unfortunately, oh god, hold on. There we go. I think Reckless Gamma is very close to actually being able to take a map off of O7 Soul. They could even go for a reverse sweep here, maybe even. I'm not entirely going to New Jump City, which is the next minute we're doing. We're doing Flashpoint. Yay. Anything could generally happen. Maybe we get Junker Queen. Junker Queen's usually very good on these maps, but probably not. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Right. I think if you're gonna run Junker Queen anywhere, it's going to be on Saravasa or New Junk City. But I mean, I think with the variations that we've seen thus far through the first two maps, I kind of have a feeling where we're going.
Yeah.
Right now, we just
Can't
gotta
be
get
mad
through
at
it.
people for playing the meta.
Give you the best
Can't
chance
be-
to win,
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's called the meta because it's the most efficient strategy or whatever. I don't actually. Is
Most
it? I don't think it's
most
actually
effective
true.
tactic available. That's
Thank
what
you.
meta stands for.
Most effective tactic available. Yeah, and right now that's what the most effective tactic is. Unfortunately. I mean, watching the Tracer 1v1s is fun.
Yeah.
At least.
I mean, I think, this might be a hot take. I think most of the composition is fine. Like, I actually like longer fights. I really do. And this comp does give those longer fights. So as we get into New Junk City, we will see if O7 Soul can continue the momentum that they've built up, or if Reckless Gamma can put a halt to it and stay alive in this series. The first fight is going to be where it always starts, on Arena here for New Junk City. Right now, O7 Soul playing really, really tentatively, I guess. Slowly. They're going to back up a little bit, let Reckless Gamma take the space a little bit. They're going to drop down to the point and fight from the point as they try to get this first flip going. Fresh Baked Pie has this railgun charged up and ready to go. Not quite able to find a target there, unfortunately, as the health pools really aren't seeming to go down at the moment for either side. So we'll see. Pestiance drops down to try and take care of Dingus. But of course, we've already seen it. Dingus refuses to die a lot of the time. Can they take... Oh, that was so close, but it'll be blown wide open as Zerx and Pestiance go down and Reckless Gamma have to bail.
Yeah, everything just fell apart all at once for Gamma, unfortunately. Just O7 Soul was able to do the better poke. That fight didn't really come down to any heavy brawl, rush, or whatever. It was just poke the other one out and to get control of the map. So, a lot of ults coming up here. Gamma is going to have rush, beats, pulse. Pulse 7 Soul is going to have rush, beat, and pulse as well with the Terra Search. Closer than Xerxes. Both rushes, as I say, they're going to come out.
Kayla and Briven throw out the Kitsune rushes. Venti, Crumb throw out the sound barriers, as is the norm here. Orca on the point right now. Pulse Bomb not quite going to find a target. The damage is on to Zerx. Zerx gets traded out for Fresh Baked Pie by Orca, dealing so much damage right now, but it's 2 for 2. The Dingus is still alive as Orca comes in for the assist. They drop down to the point, but in a 2 versus 2 in this situation, especially when your Orisa is hitting spears like Dingus Grease is, it will be Arena going over to O7 Soul.
That was a nasty spear. I just want to say that. Oh my goodness. Dingus, you did not have to disrespect Pestiance like that. Oh my goodness. Reckless is going to be having a Terra Surge and Overclock. Well, O7 is going to only have OC going to the fight of their own. but it does look like 07 is going to have initial control of the map again here, as they look to completely deny Reckless with their own OC.
Here we go, Floor able to put Orca away early, so this fight will not have backline pressure for 07 Soul. As the flashpoint unlocks, Zerx drops down, puts a spear into Dingus Grease. But of course, look who's surviving. It's Dingus Grease. And Crumb will not be so lucky though. And without that support, it just is not going to go the way of Reckless Gamer. They get this flip.
I think we need like a scientific study on the ability for Dingus Grease to just say, I'm not going to die now. This is getting frankly ridiculous. 07 Soul is going to have most of their ultimates, but closest to Pulse and Rush, while Reckless already has Pulse and is going to have Beat and maybe Rush going to this next fight. We will also see a Turret Surge coming from 07 as well. Soon.
Alright, pushed up to the high ground is 07 Soul as this Tracer duel resumes. Orca has to get out. The sound barrier out from Venti early in the face of really nothing, but Dingus Grease is able to find Kayla here. Dingus Grease, once again, can't die, won't die, doesn't die. Fresh Baked Pie for one, and Dingus Grease able to take down Floor, the Kitsune Rush, enough to put them over the edge here.
Good fight from Soul there. Good usage of ults, really. They are going to have only Beat though, while Gamma is going to have maybe a overclock sooner than Fresh Baked Pie will, and also a Rush of their own. It does look like Reckless is going to be looking to rotate around this back area as well at the point.
Here we go. 40% barrier cross. Kayla throws out the Kitsune Rush early. Crumb with the late sound barrier to stay alive a little bit longer. Kayla so low, able to stay alive with the cleanse here. So we'll see if Reckless Gamma get followed up on here. I mean, they're just so low. And Fresh Baked Pie, Kayla going down, is able to get the trade though. Orca for Kayla is going to be a good one here as Fresh Baked Pie tries to rain it down from the high ground, but it'll be the damage from the low ground that takes down Floor 13. Can they finish this fight off? Zerx only has the Lucio healing right now. That overclock from Fresh Baked Pie is no good in the face of a pulse bomb from Pestience. But this fight is so far from over. Zerx is so low. Can they take down Zerx? And it probably doesn't matter even if Zerx does go down, as that recall is gone. And with Orca being taken out, the ducks will go to Reckless Gamma.
Yeah, I would say that was a favorable fight for Reckless there. They were able to gain control of the point, which is very important there as well. So, good on them. It's going to bring us 1-1, and we're going to be going to the Acid Pit. I don't remember what this is called, but I'm calling it the Acid Pit now. Ford is going to be looking to use OC and Beat here as well to initiate for Reckless.
Here we go, Venti throws out the Beat early. The ultimate bank for 07 Soul very, very hefty right now. Terra Surge is out from Dingus Grease. Zerx is able to back up, takes a little bit of damage as the sound barrier comes out from Crumb. Pulse Bomb from Orca is going to take out Floor, and the damage has been done to Reckless Gamma. There's just nothing that they can do in the unrelenting attack of 07 Soul.
Yeah, unfortunate fight, I would say, for Gamma, but they are going to have Pulse and Terra Surge going to the next fight, which they could look to maybe combo to completely blow up Dingus Grease or one of the DPS. So they do have potential for getting a solid recontest on this point here. So Reckless does also have Rush, but I think 07 Soul's going to be looking to initiate here with Rush themselves.
Orca for Kayla is here we go, Reckless Gamma preparing to get going here. Kayla Roney and Brivin both press Q at the same moment. So we'll see who's going to come out on top of this Kitsune duel. The Terra Surge from the Zerx finds some damage, but no kill. Zerx so low. Can they survive this time? Dingus Grease receives a pulse bomb and goes down, but it's a trade of Orissa's here. We'll see, can 07 Soul lock up the refinery? Pulse Bomb is out, doesn't connect, but it pushes Venti away, and the refinery will go towards 07 Soul here.
I would say that was a...
Yeah, Reckless Gamma isn't out of it, but they are going to have to look to be have a very strong fight these next 2 points, or only one, depending on how things goes. 07 does have an ultimate advantage with the Beat, Terra Surge, and Overclock, but it's not out necessarily down for the count for Reckless, as they do have close to both their DPS ultimates and also a Beat, which they could use to counteract either Overclock or Terra Surge here.
Did someone change their mics? All right, here we go. It's Bomb Flats here, and Floor is already dead. Oh, in the face of the overclock from Fresh Baked Pie. That's really scary, and Reckless Gamma are just going to try to run away, but Dingus Grease will not let it happen. Pulled right back in, and Reckless Gamma pushed right back out.
Is like my mic worse, or?
No, it's much better.
Okay, yeah, I think it was connected to my webcam again. My bad. Yeah, we're good now. My bad, Chiefs. 07 is going to look to have a rush and beat and overclock going into this fight, and they have point control, which is exactly what they want going into this fight here. Reckless does have all three ultimates I mentioned previously, and they're going to look to initiate hard here, killing Priven initially.
Dueling Kitsune rushes, but Priven is dead. It will be a trade, though. Orca's able to take down Flora, so 1-for-1 here in this fight as Pestilence takes care of Fresh Baked Pie. And you see Crumb was so low there. I mean, Pestilence turned away for some reason rather than looking at Crumb, but that's fine because they get the fight in. It's just some touches to get the extra percentage here for 07 Soul, but Bomb Flats will go over to Reckless Gamma at some point.
Maybe. There we go. There we go. And they only have to use Russian OC there, and they're going to have Terra Pulse as well with Beat. So compared to 07, they're in a very good position to contest this for as long as possible. Have a very strong.
All right, here we go. Reckless Gamma have walked up to the choke. Orca takes a little bit of a shot there. Has to use the recall earlier than they would have liked, though. So we'll see. This Terra Surge is going to be good, but the cleanse is even better from Priven. But Kayla Roni is able to put away any chance that they had at turning this fight around. But they've built up to some ults here.
Yeah, and I think they did use the Terra Pulse combo, so good on them. And they're gonna have they already have Rush again? That's actually really good. 07 does have a Terra Pulse combo of their own, but Reckless could very well counter it just by using amp speed out of the Terra Surge. So Reckless Gamma is in a pretty decent position, all things considered.
They're running early with this Kitsune Rush. We'll see if 07 Soul can find something here. The cleanse is out. No damage dealt to Zerts with that Pulse Bomb, but I mean 92% to overclock was a win condition for 07 Soul, and Fresh Baked Pie does end up going down, so Reckless Gamma are going to take Bomb Flats, and New Junk City will be decided at the Junkyard.
Could we see not a J of 3 Overwatch? It's actually really likely right now. Given 07 does have a ultimate advantage, it has kind of a ultimate advantage with a Rush coming very close with Beat and Overclock. But I wouldn't say that's necessarily the biggest advantage, as Reckless is going to have both their DPS ultimates. So it really comes down to how each team plays, and Orca's going to immediately find Pestilence.
Yeah, no recall there for Pestilence, able to take down the enemy tracer is Orca. As you see, my goodness, Zerk's so low, and Orca cleans it up as the overclock is out from both sides, but it'll be Fresh Baked Pie that comes out on top of this duel. 2 for the Sojourn, and I mean, right now, Flora's out of no man's land.
Yeah, I would say ultimates are still pretty even. But I would put things in favor of 07, as they do have both their support ultimates and Tracer Pulse. So Reckless does have the ability to swing this. I think it's very likely. They just need to not like Orca or Fresh Baked Pie get any picks that they would want here.
Orca gets the recall out early as the Kitsune Rush from Bribin helps to take care of Kaleroni. That is terrible for Reckless Gamma. They're pushed out for the time being. Any late staggers would be awesome, but they're happy with what just went down.
Like a gentle rain.
Yeah, this could be the final fight for Reckless Gamma. They do have 3 more ultimates in the bank, but they really need to again just contest the DPS where they need to and look to touch here very soon.
You see Orca trying to take care of Pestians, who got the touch but does not have a recall, does not have a life. Once again tracked down by Orca. It's going to be desperation for Reckless Gamma, and they're all falling over like dominoes. This Kitsune Rush has to be colossal. We'll see if they can follow up on it. The spear goes wide right for Zerx. Oh, but they take down Kaleroni. Do they touch again? Do they touch again? They don't touch again! That's the point!
No! Now that was a letter number, unfortunately. Oh no. Gamma Bros.
I mean, Reckless Gamma, they came in here confident, but 07 Soul said, I don't even know, I can't repeat what they said because it was very, very mean. But my God, I mean, Reckless Gamma came in, you know, as the favorites, generally speaking, but 07 Soul, right there. I mean, uppercut, hook, uppercut. I mean, and Reckless Gamma's just over there dead on the floor now. Like, they weren't expecting that. They're just not, they just get KO'd. Like 07
Gamma
Soul,
Bros.
we're like, what? I'm
Gamma Bros, we gotta touch the point. You gotta touch the point.
You have to kill the Orisa, or you have to kill the supports. Either one would be awesome, right? But
right.
I mean, Dingus never died. It felt like
Dingus is just again. I know I said this earlier, but give me a scientist to start like explaining how this man is just refusing to die. This is insane. You have 5 people looking at it, and he just says, "Nah, nah." Just
I don't really feel like it.
nah, not today. Not
what
today.
An interesting series that we just had.
It
I mean, it was both close. It felt close, and it felt like 07 won by a mile, both at the same time. I mean, it just when it mattered the most, it was 07 Soul that were making the plays necessary to win. And Reckless Gamma came that close 3 times.
They did come very close, like multiple times, both on Kings Row and on New Junk City. But they fumbled the bag, unfortunately, which is, it happens, but it happens, but you have to be able to learn to just take the initiative and not lose the point there right at the end. I think it might have been nerves on both those times, which is, I get that, but I think there's a song lyric that's relevant to this, but I'm not allowed to sing it because Twitch rules and legal reasons. So whatever comes to mind for you.
Yeah. So that's going to be it for us tonight, unfortunately. We're going to get some medics in here to come take care of Reckless Gamma. We're going to get them all healed up and rehabbed, and you know, those injuries will not be those injuries will not be forever. You know, it was a rough loss. You never like to lose when, you know, you think that you're confident and you think that you can win. It sucks, right? Losing is horrible.
It's a good learning
Gamma,
experience.
there's still a lot of time in this season, and they're a good team. They have great players on this roster, and I am confident that they can bring it back. You know, they fall to 1-1, so it's not like they're, you know, 0-2.
Right.
And, you know, it's only week 2, so
it's only week 2.
Confident.
Things are still getting decided.
Yeah. So there's still so much time to learn, so much time to bring this season back, and I'm confident that Reckless Gamma are a team that can do it. And for 07 Soul, take this feeling in, drink it up. nobody
Bring it up.
like a lot of people in chat I know were rooting for Reckless Gamma and rooting against 07 Soul, and they came in and laid a smackdown.
Sometimes it's just good to feel like the villain.
I mean, in 07 Soul, they were perfect in that situation. So, Aqua,
Yeah.
unless you have anything else to say?
Shout out to Prod, did a great job today. Love y'all for it. Apologies for my mic being on my webcam for a significant amount of the stream. I didn't realize that until later, so hopefully next time that won't be an issue. But yeah, a good job both teams. Looking forward to future matches from everyone, and that will be all from us tonight.
Good night, everyone.